Hey YouTube, what's going on? Juniio here, and I'm back again with another reaction video, back again with another viewer request, and back again with another episode of Friday Filth, the series on this channel where I try to find the most abrasive, disgusting, vile, abhorrent, abrasive, did I say that already? I might have, music in the entire universe, and see what I think of it. Another episode without the green screen. This might be the last episode in this format. We'll see. Today's episode, as always, sponsored by RuneGate Studio. Check it out. Today's video comes courtesy of one Robin Blackmore, who's been requesting for a little while now that I react to not just a song, but an entire EP from a band. And that band is Naked City, and the EP is called Torture Garden. The name itself intrigued me enough to take it on as a challenge for the Friday Filth series. He says I only have to listen to a quarter or half of it, but to go through all of it will be a real challenge. I'm not one to shy away from any challenge in any aspect of my life. I've never heard of this band before, and I don't really know what they sound like. Apparently he says jazz grindcore, which does sound quite impalatable for a lot of people. Maybe even me. We'll have to see. Thanks, Robin Blackmore, for this suggestion. Everybody else following their example, leave your suggestions in the comments down below, and the next video could be yours. And that's pretty cool. And yeah, let's just jump right into it, hey? Why not? Ha-ba-ba-bam. Torture Garden is an album by John Zorn's band Naked City featuring Yamatsuka Ai on vocals. There are 42 songs over the span of 25.5 minutes. Okay, well, let's just jump into it, hey? First song, Blood is Thin. Okay, so I guess that's an introduction to this band. It all sounded like very much a classic rock affair until, you know, the Gungans started going off on the vocals there. But, yes, very, well, you know, let's just keep going. Ooh, see, that's kind of nice. Oh my gosh, you know, all these songs are gonna start blending together since they're so short. But here's kind of what we've got so far. It is a very much a blend of jazz. You can definitely hear the jazz elements being sprinkled throughout the tracks. That one was called Demon Sanctuary. This upcoming one's called Thrash Jazz Assassin. I'm not hearing too much elements of grindcore, but except for the fact that it's being played so fast. Just the overall aesthetics, it seems very classic rock. Calling it grindcore, it does make sense to me. I get it. Rarely does a song last longer than a minute here. I'm not going to stop and analyze every single one. It's more of like an overall experience, I think, when it comes to this sort of thing. But what I'm getting right now is a very chaotic, just insane collection of different influences and sounds that they're kind of forcing, like jamming a square peg into a round hole, but still managing to do so. And that's kind of their sound, and they're making it work somehow. In theory, you wouldn't think that this would be viable, but when you actually hear it being put to play, it's really not that bad. Sometimes it gets into the Looney Tunes category of weird sounds. Am I enjoying it though? Yes. Yes, I'd have to say that I am. Let's keep going. We got 25 minutes of this thing to get through, so Cheers to that, bud. See, isn't this nice? This is nice. I feel there's not too much for me to like dissect here. I really feel like the appeal of this video is making you, all you listeners and viewers out there, experience this with me. So I don't have to do it alone. However, I do have to say that I am quite enjoying it so far. Is it the most relaxing, most accessible music I've ever listened to? No. But we're also on Friday Filth, baby. We're on my favorite series in this entire channel. This is where I get to plumb the depths of depravity when it comes to music. And this one is definitely not disappointing. It's not the heaviest or most grotesque thing I've ever listened to in my life, but kind of like Diablo Swing Orchestra and kind of like Merzbow. Not quite like Merzbow. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure what you would compare this to. But it's like Merzbow in that it's very inaccessible, I think, to a mainstream audience, which is what makes it so appealing. And not to be like all hipster about it, like, oh, like I only listen to jazzcore, grindcore fusions, because I don't. This is really my first experience with it. I'm just saying, you know, it's cool to have an open mind and be, you know, willing to experience these sort of things, even though it's very much outside my realm of expertise when it comes to music. So there's not really much I can really be commenting on here, other than the fact that it's quite insane, and it feels like we're going insane along with it. So let's keep going. Oh, here we go. Where are we at? Blood Duster. Ooh. You know, this is actually, it's reminding me a little bit of Mr. Bungle, which makes sense because I was reading the article and it said that later on in the band's history, they also got Mike Patton to do some vocals on some of their works. So I can definitely see how he would fit in. You know, the instrumental, of course, is very chaotic, frenetic, and frenzied. All over the place and crazy, pulling inspiration from a multitude of genres. But it's the vocals that really kind of steal the show here, you know? Upon this crazy bed of nails, rusty bent nails and screws and a bunch of other scrap metal that the instrumentation provides. The vocals dance gleefully, whirling around in a demented display of some other pretentious words that I can't think of right now. But you know, I was going on a pretty good run there for a minute. Yeah, they are very cartoonish, very wacky, very out there. Definitely what's grabbing my attention here so far. Ooh. That's another one. There you go. You know, every once in a while, there's elements. There are elements that remind me of music that I'm familiar with, like other extreme forms of music, like experimental black metal, industrial noise, things that it lulls me into a false sense of security because I'm like, oh, okay, I'm familiar with this sound, I enjoy it already. Take me down this dark, twisted path, and just make it heavy and moody and oppressive, and I'm ready for it. And all of a sudden, you got the guy going. Screaming and shrieking all over the place, and not like black metal shrieking, more like, again, Looney Tunes kind of shriek, like the Tasmanian Devil. Is that a good comparison? Did I nail that? What does he sound like?
You sure toss a mean salad.
Yeah, I think I pretty much nailed it. This album sounds exactly like a Looney Tunes sketch. Okay. Nice. You can tell I've been doing this for a while, and my dog is completely unfazed by this cacophony of noises that's going on right now. He's just chilling out. That's how you know he's been here for way too long. Oh, I do like that. What was that? Ooh. Ooh, this is nice. I had something I was gonna say, and I forgot what it was gonna be. I forgot what it was. So I guess we just keep listening. I don't know. Ooh. Okay, I remember what I was gonna say. I feel like I'm slowly going insane as I listen to this album. I enjoy the songs individually as they come, but it's just like listening to so many of them back to back to back over and over. It's just something that, since I've never really been exposed to a sound like this, it's hard for me to really acquire that taste in such a short amount of time. But I feel like unless you listen to it kind of in bulk like I'm doing right now, you don't get this sense of the descent into I don't know, whatever madness, I suppose you could say, that I'm going through right now. Because individually each song I think is enjoyable, and I could just like listen and be like, hey, that's kind of a fun song. Outside of this, I wouldn't voluntarily listen to 20 plus minutes of this, but I think the experience of that is quintessential to my development as a music connoisseur. You know, perhaps the entire album is the true way in which you're supposed to experience this project, and that's what I'm going to keep telling myself so I don't feel like I'm, I don't know, making a grievous error. Sounds like a deflating balloon up in here. Ooh. I enjoy this. So we're a little over the halfway mark here. And I have to say, yeah, it's starting to wear on me a little bit. This sound is overstaying its welcome, some might say. I tell people all the time, extreme music, if you want to get into it, it's an acquired taste. You can't jump headfirst into something like this, especially if you've never listened to extreme music before in your life and expect to just love it. Maybe 0.01% of people after listening to top 40 all their life could fall in love with something like this right off the bat. But for the majority of people, I think it's more of like a steady ease. Even for myself, who's listened to a lot of extreme and crazy and experimental music before, the one genre that I've never really experienced or like kind of delved into too much is like the avant-garde, experimental, and noise side of things. I surprised myself by enjoying Merzbow. But again, that was only 5 minutes and not 25. I think that, again, if you gave me a couple of these songs, a few of these songs in like a 4-minute package, I could enjoy it thoroughly and have lots to talk about. But when in this 25-minute barrage, it's a little much. But again, you know, there are elements that I really do enjoy, and I like how they subvert expectations, take you down an almost familiar path before throwing you, you know, off the side of the cliff. Am I having a good time listening to this music? Debatable. It's an interesting time and it's an interesting experience. And I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying kind of having my limits pushed and tested. Now, maybe I'm putting myself off by making myself listen to the entire thing all at once. But, you know, this is a self-inflicted journey we're going on. It's not anybody's fault but mine. And I, again, like I said before, will never back down from a challenge. And I believe that if I get through the next 10.5 minutes, I will experience enlightenment on the other side of the rainbow. So we keep going. See, I do like the breaks in here. I like how they structure it. I have a feeling South Bay Spike will like this album a lot. If you're watching, buddy, let me know what you think. Ooh. Okay. See, that was really funny. Those moments like that are quite enjoyable, for sure. Ooh. You know, I was right. The further you allow yourself to get drawn into this madness, the more you're willing to open up and accept it. While I don't really have too much to say, it's because I think I've just entered this numb state of bliss, where this is just my reality now. This is what I'm listening to right now, and this is how I have to experience life. And experiencing it, I am. Am I gonna be in a good mindset for the rest of my day? It'll be an interesting mindset. Will it be one conducive to the tasks I have to do? Perhaps not. But that's not the point of this music anyways. You know, this isn't to help me get through a day of work. This is more of a spend the rest of the day contemplating what you're even doing with your life kind of song music, you know? Anyways, 5 more minutes, guys. 5 more minutes. Ooh. See, every once in a while there's something that I really like that. Wow. Hell yeah. Okay, I know it's about to go crazy right now, but how funny would it be if the last 3 minutes of the song was just this kind of hillbilly hoedown country tune? That would be truly avant-garde. Oh, New York Flat Top Box, best song on the album. Ooh, I did like that. Oh, here we go, boys. This is the last song of the entire album. Here we go, boys. Get ready. Strap in. Oh my. Why would you do that? Oh, like, God, they goofed me. Okay. So that was the EP Torture Garden by the band Naked City. Quite an interesting experience, to say the least. I made it through the entire album, and I don't regret a single second of it. There were moments where I was like, is this the best way I could be spending my time? But then, once I reached the end, it all made sense. Truly an album for pushing the limits of what can be defined as conventional music, because it doesn't quite cross a threshold into noise. This is still inherently musical. It's just the way, the composition, the way it's thrown together, and all the elements kind of twisting into itself makes it very well, just an odd piece of art. There were many elements among the tracks that I thoroughly enjoyed. Very individual sections of songs, specific sounds that they went for, even certain vocal passages every once in a while really caught my attention. And it was this variety that kind of kept things interesting, because there was a lot of just the very atonal, dissonant, high-pitched stuff going on. You know, the shrieking, the guitars, the instrumentation, whatever it was. When it all blends together in that really high octave, it does tend to kind of wear on me a little bit. But like I said, the variety really kind of kept it going for me. And I think they structured it well. Whenever they had a break in there, it was quite welcome. It made a lot of sense. And even when it was kind of like, again, like that unexpected break, it was like, all right, yes, a breath of fresh air before we kind of dive into the mouth of the storm once again. I'm making it sound like this entire thing was an endurance contest. It really wasn't. I mean, was it? No, it wasn't. It was. There are definitely musical elements that are thoroughly enjoyable, and like I said near the beginning, give me a handful of these songs, and I would probably really enjoy them, and I could just listen to them as like a novelty thing. Is this something that I would listen to seriously on my own if I'm trying to like vibe out for a bit? At this point, probably not. I think I would have to be exposed to a lot more things like this, or listen to a lot more of this album or this band or something, in order to really appreciate it enough for me to kind of voluntarily sit down and actively listen to it once again. I'm glad I went through this experience, though, because now I know that this exists and I have something to reference to if I ever am in the mood for something similar to this sound again. Yeah. And you know what? That's pretty much all I have to say without just kind of endlessly repeating myself and going into an infinite loop. With all that said, thanks for watching, guys. If you liked the video, make sure to like it. If you like the channel, make sure to subscribe. Of course, everybody have a great day. I'll see you next week. Setup might be a little bit different. Who knows? We might be going crazy. And yeah, that's about it, guys. Good, what?